Hello. We got a late thumbs up
ready.
there. Got a late thumbs up. I just suddenly heard Tim carry on downstairs.
Oh,
Hello. Hello, Emma.
Welcome.
We're back together on the sofa for Children's Church Live. And we are carrying on with Bible Bag Guys.
We sure are.
Yeah. I did it
We've
with my
looked at
other foot, so I
The
didn't.
snake. We've
step on your
looked at
foot.
Pharaoh. We looked at Goliath last
Oh,
week.
yes. That was fun
What are
last
we
week,
looking
wasn't
at
it?
this week?
We're looking at a man called Ahab and his wife called Jezebel, who weren't very good people. One might have made one a little bit worse than they already were. It's not good. So we're going to have a think about what that means for us as well a
They
little
were
bit
bad
later.
people, were they?
They were bad people.
Yeah.
Bible bad guys.
Just to clarify.
Generic
bad. We
term
meant
for-
bad there.
For girls and boys, guys can be at times as well. I use it for that.
Great. Well, I think what we've got coming up is worship.
We've got some worship, but you probably wondered why I put a bathtub over across the other way, Emma.
I did wonder why you
So-
destroyed my beautiful set.
Yes, I've put a tarp down. I've put a bathtub down. So let's head over here, Emma. And what I'd love you to do is get in the bathtub.
Oh, really? Are we doing that? Okay.
I think some of you might have remembered that last week Roger said someone might need to have been gunged, and we didn't gunge them at the end, but actually we all thought it'd be really funny if we gunge Emma anyway, because I'm pretty sure Hannah and Mara, you in the comments were very keen for this to happen.
I don't understand.
So if there's blame to be had, Roger, Hannah,
I don't
Mara,
understand why it always has
they're
to
the
be
blame.
me.
Well, you got voted last time we gunged on 5 Alive and 7 Up, and your father was involved in that, and once again, he's got
It's
you
all
gunged
rigged. I feel
here.
like it's
So
all
I'm going to
rigged.
take this away. We're going to gunge you. Let's pop that. Are you going to need it again? I'll pop it in my back pocket. Okay, so I'm going to run up to the camera and try and show you what colour we've gone for. It's dark, it's dingy, so we went for dark and dingy gunge. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, that's good. That's the gunge. Dark and dingy, like the cave we're in. For Bible bad guys. Let me check the temperature.
Last time you burnt my head.
Yeah, it's...
Is it going to burn my head?
There's a tea bag in it. Who's put that in there? Jacob Larvey. Let's put that in the top. I didn't even know that was in there. Yes. This is why you guys are on the kids team. Are we ready? Joel Sherwood. Yes. Are we ready? We are. And that is a BCC gunging at its best. There's the tea bag. Cold this week. She complained it was too hot. She complained it was too cold. We're going to have to play this like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears story. So we're going to have to do it again sometime and make sure it's just right. We're going to worship together. We have grabbed Big Keith and one of his super retro worship workouts with Jacob and I. Let's worship together, find that space. Remember the actions that we do and the dancing that we can do that in an attitude towards God as we worship with our bodies this morning to the songs. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let's worship Jesus.
Anyway, good morning everyone. It's great to see you on this Sunday morning. We are now going to do some worship, which means we're going to get up off the couches. We're going to get everyone going. And today's a special morning. I've got some very special helpers that couldn't be here, but instead I found Jacob and I found Samuel, and they're going to help me this morning, and they're going to dance along with us. So I need you to get up, get loose, shake those arms off. Shake those legs off. That's it. Oh, there we go. It's early. It's time to wake up. So, are you ready? Let's get the first song on the go.
I like to move it.
Oh, yeah. Do you like to move it? I like to move it. We're going to start off in the garden. So if you look out, you can see your garden. There's a few things in the garden. So we're going to do some garden things. And the first thing I've noticed is our grass is really long. So let's get your lawnmower. Let's get the lawnmower. Okay, you ready? Start it. And there you have to pull a wire. And ready, steady, mow that grass. Mow that grass. Yeah, big grass. Let's mow that grass. There we go. The grass is looking good. Okay, now we've planted some seeds. They're going to start growing. We've gone for some sunflowers first. So sunflower, it starts down here. Ready? We're going to go sunflower. Let's do it again. Ready? Very good. And now we've also planted some daisies. So daisies are like this. We're going to go. But wait, what's that I can see? There's something coming from our daisies. Is that a grasshopper? Oh, let's do our grasshopper. Ready? So we're going to come down here, we're going to bend our knees, and we're going to jump like a grasshopper. Ready, steady. Whee! Grasshoppers everywhere. Okay, so now that we've got rid of the grasshoppers, we're going to water the fountain. So we're going to get our statues ready. We're going to go on one leg. We're going to bring our leg up behind us. Oh, good balancing. We're going to put our arms up. And then we're going to go. Oh, that was lovely. Okay, and then for our final one, we're going to be a garden gnome. You know those things in the garden, they've got the big pointy hats on? We're going to be a fishing gnome. Are you ready? So come down, get your fishing rod. Very good. Now it's time to do some freestyling. Grab an instrument, get your instruments, let's go. Ready? Let's go.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to.
Very good. Okay. So now we're going to move away the garden. The garden is done. And as you know, in the last couple of months we've been learning about being under the sea. So we're going to go back under the sea. We've done some of these moves already, and we've got some new ones. Are you ready? So, the first one we're going to see in the water is the crazy octopus. So we're going to get our tentacles. Let's look at that one. Let's get our other one, get them wobbling. There's another tentacle. There's another tentacle. So we're just going to start off a little bit slow, getting those tentacles moving. Whoa. Tentacles everywhere. And obviously I've not got enough tentacles. The octopus has how many? 8. That's right, 8 tentacles. Let's start getting faster. Start getting going. Okay. Right, let's put our tentacles away for now. Now we're going to get our angry crab out. Remember him? We're going to go crabby claw. Crabby claw. I'm an angry crab. I'm an angry crab. I'm an angry crab. I'm an angry crab. Okay, now we're going to have a big shark time. Ready? So we're going to get our shark fin. You ready? You're steady. Here it comes. Get ready. Get ready. Here we go. Very good, sharks. Okay, next, we're going to slow it down with some puffer fish. So what we do, we're going to start off small. We go really small, and then puffer fish, they get really big by taking in air. So take a big deep breath, we're going to go. starfish. So a starfish has lots of points. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from here we're going to do star jumps. You ready? We're going to go in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Go for it, ready, really fast, ready? Get steady. Go on, just keep jumping. You can do this, you can do this. Here we go, ready? Okay, so now, for our last little bit, I need you to do something for me. I need you to go and get your favourite hats. Okay, so boys, if you can go get your favourite hats, I'll get my favourite hat down here. You ready? We're going to put our hats on, and then we're going to go back to freestyling. So if you've got a guitar or any kind of instrument, now's the time to get it. Are you ready? So what we're going to do, we're going to get our instruments, and now it's just anything you want. Any of those dances we've done, if you can remember your favourite one from the garden or under the sea, whichever one you want to go for. Ready? Go! Keep going, very good.
I've been everywhere, man, looking for someone,
Brings us
someone who can
to the end of our time together. You have been amazing. Well done to you. Well done to my helpers. Well done to everyone. We will see you again soon. We are going to go back to the studio now. Bye bye.
Hello and welcome back. It is freezing. I'm so cold, but it's okay because we are going to play a game. I'm going to explain it to you, and Beth and Jacob and Joel are going to come and demonstrate. Here they come. Yep, perfect. Jacob, if you can pick up 3 hoops. You can either make little hoops yourself or buy some masking tape, and he's going to spread them across the floor in front of, just sort of randomly, one a bit further away. Perfect. Do you know what? 2 will do. Throw that one away. This game, all right, gently. My goodness, the attitude. This game is called Ants and Anthills. We are going to appoint a queen ant. That is going to be Joel. Hooray! What you have to do is, it's a basic tag game. Everyone knows tag. And what you have to do is try and escape the queen ant. Okay? Normally, you would tap someone on the shoulder, but on this occasion, we are just going to point at the person. And if you get caught, Beth's going to demonstrate, if you get caught, you have to lie on your back like an ant that's on the wrong side, yeah? And wiggle all of your arms and legs in the air like this. Oh no! How disastrous. And then you have to see if you can rescue that person. So, sucker! What you have to do is pick up that person on their hands. I've just realized we can't actually do this, but we'll just demonstrate, like pretend. You're going to have to pretend shuffle, okay? And you, to rescue that person, that ant that is on their back because they've been tagged, you have to pick them up from their feet and from their hands and drag them to your little circle. That is your anthill. So pretend you're being dragged into your anthill. Very well done. And then the anthill just flips you up to the right side and you are good to go again. Obviously, to win the game, the queen ant, Joel, would need to tag everybody so there are no other ants to rescue the tagged ants that are on their back. Jacob, let's see your tagged ant. Oh, I was about to say it's a very still one. Okay, this is a good one to play with your bubbles, if you have a bubble at the moment, or to save it until we can actually have a proper good game of it. And that is the game. Hooray! I think we are heading over to the craft now, which is it Chrissy this week? Hooray, it's Chrissy. She's the best at craft. Here we go.
Hi and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm doing the craft today, and we've heard about Ahab and Jezebel. They're not very nice people. So I thought it would be great to do a craft that reminds us of all the things that God says about us. So you're going to need a piece of blue card or paper, doesn't really matter, a piece of white paper or card, some coloured card. You can see some of my pieces are quite scrappy. You're not going to need a lot of each colour. Doesn't matter which colours you've got, whatever you've got hanging around in your house is absolutely fine. A pencil, some scissors, glue, and some things to write with. And the Bible verses, which I've got written on a very scrap piece of paper, but I will put them somewhere sensible for you so you can find them. We're going to draw on our white piece of paper. We're going to get our pencil and we're going to draw a nice big cloud shape to fill up as much of this piece of paper as possible. Now, if you've never drawn a cloud before, it's quite simple. You just draw lots of bumps all the way round into a funny shape that looks a little bit like that. And now you want to write your name in the middle of your cloud. And my name's Chrissy, so I'm just going to write Chrissy. I've picked a nice blue sparkly pen. You might not have a blue sparkly pen, but you might have a favourite pen that you like to use. You might want to do fancy writing, you might want to do nice writing, you might want to do tidy writing. But there you go, and there's my name. Okay, so once I've drawn and written my name and I've drawn my cloud, I'm going to cut it out. I've already done one, and this time I did it in red sparkly pen, and here it is, it's ready. I'm going to stick this now onto my blue piece of card. I'm going to make sure I stick it at the top so that I've got lots of space underneath, and you'll see why in just a second. Okay. And here we go. Here is my cloud stuck on the blue piece of paper. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some strips of my coloured card. They're going to look a little bit like this. They're going to be just about the right size to fit underneath my cloud. Now I've cut most of mine already. Here they are. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to write some Bible verses on them. I've written most of these already, because I figure you don't really want to sit and watch me writing lots of things. So I've got, I am made by God to be like him, which is from Genesis 1 verse 27. I am privileged, from Psalm 8 verse 5. I am provided for, from Matthew 5 verse 45. I am shown God, from Psalm 19 verse 1. And I am invited to be a Christian, from Romans 10 verse 9. I'm going to write the last verse on now, and my last verse is that I am loved by God, which is from 1 John 3 verse 16. I nearly spelt John wrong then. Managed to save it, and that's my last verse. I'm going to arrange these on my blue card like a rainbow, because rainbows always remind us of God's promises to us. That's back in Genesis, and we're going to stick each of those down. And there you have it, one picture that reminds you, and you only, because it's got your name on it, of all the things that God promises to you. There are loads and loads more promises in the Bible, but these ones are just 6 that I've picked for you. And hopefully you'll be able to go and look up some of the Bible verses so you can check what they actually say, so you can learn more about what those promises really mean. and hopefully they'll help you on your journey as you find out more about Jesus and you find out about how you want to trust and follow him for the rest of your life. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I'd love to see your pictures sometime. Feel free to email them across to Sam and he'll let me see them at some point. Hope to see you soon. Bye.
Hello and welcome to Storytime. Words are my friend today. Jacob and I are going to tell you a quick story. Take it away, Jacob.
Good morning, good morning. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about Ahab and Jezebel.
Ooh-hoo.
Great story. And we're going to be reading from 1 Kings chapter 16, verses 29-33. We're going to be summarizing it and then talking a little bit more about who Jezebel was and Ahab was. So that's going to be great fun. Okay. Shall I kick off first then?
Kick us off, Jacob.
Okay, here we go. Ahab, son of Amri, began to rule over Israel in the 38th year of King Asas. Interesting name.
We're having a bit of a technical issue, but we also might not be. We're just kidding.
Is it working? Working? Oh, okay.
Just gonna carry on.
Let us know in the comments if you can actually hear me. If not, then there we go. So Ahab reigned in Samaria for 22 years.
It's a long time. That's me. That's my age. That's how long he ruled. Woof.
That's a very long time, very old.
Yeah, so
But
old.
Ahab, son of Amri, did what was evil in the Lord's sight,
Oh boy.
even more than any other kings before him. Not a good. He
It's
made
not
some
great.
wrong choices.
Yeah. It's not good.
It's not good. So, and as though it were not enough to follow the sinful example of the other kings, he married Jezebel. Boo, the daughter of King Ethbaal of the Sidonians.
Sidonians?
Sidonians. If you can say it, let us know in the group chat. And he began to bow down in worship to Baal.
Baal.
First, Ahab built a temple and an altar for Baal in
Baal?
Samaria. Then he set up a Asherah pole. Over to you.
An Asherah pole.
Yeah.
Bit random, huh? Anyway, so Ahab married a Sidonian woman, as we've said, and she was not a Jewish woman. I know. She was not seen as one of God's people, which is a big deal. And God told his people that they should not marry women who do not worship the one true God.
Amen.
Big stuff. So the woman that Ahab married was named Jezebel.
Boo.
Boo, boo. We don't like Jezebel right now. Jezebel had not been taught in her home to worship the one true God. But she had been taught to worship who? Baal. And he was her god. And Baal was a stone god that people worshipped. So it's not a great start when it's a stone god.
No.
And they offered their infant children as sacrifices.
What?
We're not a fan of that. Not sure about you guys. Not a fan. And so they offered infant children as sacrifices to the god. So Baal was not a good god. He was not a god, to be honest with you. And anyone who worshipped him was actually worshipping Satan.
Whoa.
And that's never good. So King Ahab, who never should have married Jezebel in the first place, brings her into his family and makes her his wife. And not only that, he also allowed her to bring her worship to Baal into the family. So she carried on worshipping this stone god while living with him. But since he didn't make a good first choice and married a woman who didn't love God, he also made a second bad choice and allowed her to worship Baal in their house. And that was a really bad thing. Tell us more, Jacob.
That is very strange. I mean, I keep hearing this word Jezebel, and I'm not liking this name.
No.
Every single time you say it, I get the heebie-jeebies. So let's see what happens when I talk a bit more. Hopefully I just don't run away.
Yeah.
Because I might do that. So Ahab did more to provoke the anger of the Lord, the God of Israel.
Oh boy, it's never good.
No. I mean, he just kept doing bad things, Beth. Again. And again, that's right. So Ahab was the last and the worst king of the Israelite kings who ruled during the reign of Asa in Judah. And Ahab did many bad things in the sight of God. And Jezebel, oh my word, if I say that one more time, I'm out of here.
Keep going.
His wife made it worse as she encouraged him to do other bad things. worship a different god called Baal.
Wow.
Ahab was a bad guy, and right, that's it. I've said Jezebel again. I'm going.
It's happening. Right, so Jacob's out, so it's just story time with Beth. I'll just finish off the sentence for you guys. Ahab was a bad guy. Jezebel made him even worse. So we are going to pass over to Sam, who's going to pad this story out a little bit for you. Are you there, Sam?
Hello, everyone.
Nice.
I'm back. I'm going to come sit on this camera here. Oh, guys, thanks for telling me about Ahab and the name that we shall no longer mention. No, Jezebel. That was the name. He's still got the heebie-jeebies behind the camera. And he was still quite a bad man already. We got told of a few things there. But then Jezebel came in and said she worshipped this god Baal. I'm not going to do the Baal. Oh, I did anyway. Silly me. I just got sucked into it. They did such a good job. And that he allowed her to do that. And that wasn't a good thing of an Israelite king in the place that was of God's people. He wasn't the most godly of men. He got told to do other things by his wife, and he was like, yeah, we're going to do those. I'm happy to do those things. But they weren't good. They weren't honoring to God. They weren't glorifying God. They were doing their own thing. Thankfully, that was a good point when they said he was the last of the bad Israelite kings. But what does that mean for us? Because we can see how Ahab obviously fell in love with Jezebel, but she made him worse than he already was. So he wasn't so good in the first place, but then he was made a little bit more worse because he maybe didn't stand up to the fact that maybe it was God they should have been worshipping, and that was the deal for the Israelite people, that they were God's people, that he is the God they should be worshipping, but they made it absolutely fine to be worshipping a God that isn't even real, wasn't even there, didn't even help them cross the Red Sea when they needed to do that years and years before. We gunged Emma, didn't we? And maybe that was quite fun to do and quite funny, but Emma's now gone off to clean herself up, and she is generally feeling quite cold. So I'm feeling a little bit bad that, one, the gunge didn't stay as warm, and that she's actually a little bit cold, because I do generally actually care for her, and I can say that when she's not in the room, because she then doesn't tell me off afterwards. She won't know I've actually been nice to her. But actually, it started when Rog said last week, if you remember, he did the hellos with Emma, and he grabbed the mic and he said, hey, we should gunge someone today. And I think it should be Emma. We should do something bad. We should do something naughty because that's good. I think he said those words. And then us as team, Joel and Jacob and Beth, we thought it would be quite funny if we could actually get that done. And we had Hannah and Mara in the comments say as well. But has Roger's actions and suggestion to do something, as I have a good relationship with him, but he's actually maybe do something, yes, quite fun and quite funny, but now I'm actually thinking maybe it was a bad thing to do because she's actually feeling really quite cold and might be a bit grumpy the rest of the day because she's cold. Because who likes to be cold? No, I'm getting thumbs up down behind me. I wasn't able to stand up and say, actually, guys, no, it's not right to gunge Emma this time round because it is cold in this room and the gunge won't stay warm and she's going to be cold and she's going to have to go clean up. And yeah, it was really funny though, wasn't it? But what's the point? Sometimes we can be around people that we might feel safe around, that we might love, that we might like. We might have friends. And they may not necessarily know Jesus. They might know Jesus too. But they might ask things of us or think, I'm thinking about doing this. And we might be thinking, that doesn't sound the right thing to do. I'm gonna skip church because actually Liverpool, the team I support, they've got the lunchtime kickoff. They don't this weekend. They won yesterday. They had the lunchtime kickoff, so I'm going to skip church and I'm going to go down to the pub with my friends and I'm going to watch that live there because they've asked me to do. And that might be a good thing to do because I'm being relational with friends and I might get to talk about Jesus there. But my main thing of going there is to watch Liverpool win and play the football game. Not the greatest things. It's taking me away from something that is probably so much better. I would say it's better. Because I can watch the highlights another time. There'll be another time, another game, and a better time where I could go and do that with friends. But you might have friends asking you to do other things. Maybe we should leave this person out of our game at school because they said something and it was a bit weird. Maybe we won't let them join in. And you're thinking, yeah, let's not have them join in. But part of you's like, Well, no, I know it's a good thing to have people join in with me and let everyone join in and play our games, because that's a kind and the right thing to do. Ahab and Jezebel didn't take very many opportunities to do a good thing and a right thing. There was a guy called Elijah during this time who went up against Ahab and Jezebel, but even there was one point where he got really scared. He did a really amazing thing. He proved that the God that we believe in, the God that we talk to you about every week and hope that you talk to every day, was the true and the living God. That's who he is. He proved it to the prophets of Baal. There was about 400 of them, and they did this whole experiment pretty much where they're like, right, let's make some altars, and Baal, you guys who follow Baal, you'll go first, and you've got to make your altar go on fire out of nothing, because Baal's going to do it. So you just need to pray to him and praise and worship him, and that will happen. And they did it, and nothing happened. And Elijah got a little bit cocky. He said, guys, I've made my altar, but could we get like 5 buckets of water? Could we pour it on my altar and make it really, really wet? Because making things wet's really good for fire, isn't it? No. It actually makes it really difficult. And then him, against 400 people, was stood there praising and worshiping his God. And what did God do? He set it alight. And then he did something that, he got rid of all those prophets, which I struggle with sometimes, but he got rid of them all, so they weren't worshipping Baal anymore. And then Jezebel sends a message to Elijah. So one lady sends a message to Elijah and says, hey, we're going to kill you, and we're probably going to do it by the end of the day. And Elijah has just done something amazing and seen that his God is brilliant, and he ran away. He got a bit scared, but God helped him out, and there were some amazing things that happened after that. And a really good point. So Elijah was trying to stand up and trying to follow God in all that he was doing, and not being led astray even by the king at the time, who everyone should have been listening to, because he's the king. That's what you do. That's what you did in those times. It would have been bad news not to. But actually it got them in trouble. I might be in trouble because I listened to Rog and others about gunging Emma. She may not be too happy with me. I might have to say sorry and make sure that she's okay. You might have to say sorry to people you've left out of games, because you thought it might have been an okay idea to leave them out because they look a bit different to us, or they said something a bit strange, or maybe they weren't so nice either, so you wanted to leave them out for that reason. But that still doesn't make it okay if we've got people that might be saying, this is a good idea, but in your heart, in your mind, you're thinking, no, God wouldn't be so pleased with any of that. Because actually, when we choose to follow God and think about God in all that we're doing, he can help us do the right things. He can help us be better. Because what did he do? He sent his son to come and be on earth. He became human. And what did he do? He grew up. He did some carpentry and some tecton's the word. He did a number of things. He did some great things. But then he chose his disciples. And we might be looking at that story a little bit down the line in the new year. And they hung out with him, and there were some people there that weren't so great. There was a tax collector called Matthew, who people wouldn't have liked because he was a Jew, but he was collecting the taxes for the Romans, for Caesar, from his people, and he probably charged them more so he could make extra monies for himself. But Jesus still spoke to him, asked him to follow him, which he did, and hanging out with Jesus made him a better person because he was around Jesus the whole time, and that was better than being around the Romans and other people that may have encouraged him in himself to be doing the bad things. So bad company, we need to be careful who our friends are, because sometimes they can trip us up. Sometimes they may lead us astray from doing the right thing. But if we're following God and wanting to hang out with him, he's going to help us remember what the right things to do are. He's going to give us the strength maybe to stand up and say, hey, no, Emma deserves to play in the game with us. Just because she smells because she got gunged doesn't mean she can't play in the game with us. She can come and play in the game. That's a scary thing to say sometimes to our friends. But let's not be like Jezebel and suggest things that aren't good to do. Let's not be like Ahab, who let those things happen and said, you're my wife, I love you, you can worship this Baal guy, that's fine by me, I'm the king, people will do what I say. Let's be a little bit like Elijah, who stood up and said, hey, Baal isn't the God you should be following. That's really silly and stupid. I don't agree with it. This is the God who you should be following right now. Let's prove it. Boom, altar on fire. God did that. Changed their minds a little bit. So, Bad company can corrupt us, but if we're going to follow God and we're going to try and hang out with God and have his company and follow people and have friends who are following God also, they can really help us do the right thing, to have people involved all the time, that we don't get tripped up and maybe do bad things. We're going to end that point there, I think. Otherwise, I'll just go around again. I think you've got it. So maybe we need to think about I'm not saying let's stop being friends with people, but maybe we need to think about sometimes what our friends might say, whether it's a good or a bad thing to do. And maybe we can ask God to have the strength to help them know what the right thing to do is, because then we can all help each other in doing the right thing. But hey, I thought Jacob and Beth did a great job at helping us learn a little bit about Ahab and Jezebel. Jacob seems to have calmed down about that name now. But we're going to end it there. We've had fun. We've been able to do a worship workout, get warmed up, do some actions where we've been able to worship Jesus with our actions. And do you know what? Actually, watching all that we've been doing, listening to the story, listening to me, that can be an act of worship to God as well. When we have that attitude to say, hey, I'm going to tune in with Children's Church Live. I'm going to want to learn about you, God. I'm going to have fun with you, God. I'm going to have fun with the kids team. I want that to be my worship to you as well. And we can carry on in our week thinking about which company is the best company. The company that might take us away from God, or the company that helps us stay close to God. I'm going to pray, and then we're going to end it. Emma's back in the room, and she doesn't look so cold anymore. Are we still friends, Emma? See, I told you. I might have to say sorry. But let me pray for all of you, because we love to do that as a kids team. And then you can think about what big lunches you're having, or the ice cream in the freezer that you can have right now. Sorry, parents, I've said it. Might have to happen, I don't know. But let me pray for you. Father, thank you that we have fun in this space. But it's an all act of worship to you. It's all to glorify and honor you. It's all to point to you, what we do in this space for the kids that listen. Thank you for Hannah and Mara tuning in each week and learning something of you. Thank you for Theo and Caleb. Thank you for Theo and Josiah tuning in to watch and have fun. Thank you for Kayla. Thank you for Jack and Daisy. Thank you for Daniel and Evie. Thank you for all those kids. Thank you for Florrie and Lexi. Thank you for Arlie. We miss you, mate. But thank you that you tune in. Just may you hold those kids close to you this week, Father. May you remind them that you're the best company to be in, that they have the strength to stand up and point out where people might be leading us astray. You're the best friend that we can have. You're the friend that's going to point us the right way, because you only have good things for us. Help them to realize and understand that. Be with the parents as they help their kids understand that too, as they journey with them and carry on their journey of faith with their kids this week. May that be fun and exciting for them as family. We love that we can do church as family. Bless this team as well. Thank you for Joel. Thank you for Beth. Thank you for Jacob. Thank you for Emma. Bless them in their weeks as we think up new, crazy, fun ideas to make learning about you the best thing of the week. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, that is another week done. It's like 20 to 12, which is a bit more of a later finish. But we've loved having fun. We're going to be here next week where we look at someone else who was bad but might have got good. I'm pretty sure I've got that right. So maybe you can have a think about who that might be. Who do we know in the Bible who was bad but became good and was an absolute force to be reckoned with when they were in line with Jesus? Well, I'm going to see you soon. Have the best week, and remember that God's company is the best company we can be in. He's going to help you so much this week. We love you lots. We're going to see you soon. Bye-bye.